Hello and welcome back to the Road to Rec League podcast. I'm Callum, and today we are shaking it up a little bit, frankly. I was inspired listening to a couple of other podcasts lately about format and shifting things around a little bit. I've had some change in focus, and I want to talk about a few different topics. And one of the things that I thought was interesting in a podcast I've been listening to lately, about cycling actually, was the idea of this, what do they call it, like a micro pod. So lots of short clips recorded over the course of, say, a week or 2 weeks or whatever it might be, kind of capturing your feelings in the moment. Now, I don't have the tech for that right now with my phone, so I'm just going to do sort of, I guess, short clips on my computer when I get the time to sit down and have a think about it. But what it's done is it's offered me the opportunity to sort of refresh and refocus, because, I mean, this is, I guess, the first of the micro pods, if you like. But I've achieved my goal this year, my big goal that I set at the start of the year, which was to play a game of ice hockey for my team in the league. And in fact, my goal didn't even include a league game. It was more just getting out and skating with the guys and competing. And I'll be honest, it's kind of impacted my ability to focus on training and not like totally. Like when I'm there, I'm committed. Obviously, and I skate hard and I try really hard. And actually, a future episode we'll do some stuff on data, because that's been really interesting, reviewing my change over the last 6 weeks, say, which will probably be 8 by the time I come around to reviewing it properly. But I thought I just wanted to share, I guess, that kind of mental side to it. You know, when you set yourself a target at the start of the year, you know, there's no guarantee you'll hit it. And to have accomplished it at the beginning of May was quite the surprise. And for it to be such a successful and enjoyable game as well, I think it kind of hit me a little bit. And I was reflecting on it just this morning, going, oh, you know, why have I found it harder to get out and get extra ice time? Aside from picking up a bit of a minor sort of issue with my left half of my hip, it's because I think I've achieved a goal. And normally when I achieve goals historically, I tend to decompress and struggle to refocus. So that's been really insightful for me to sort of actually sit and reflect on that one. And what's been really exciting, I guess, in sort of reviewing where I'm at and what I've achieved and what I'm looking to achieve, has been this reigniting a passion of cycling. And so there's going to be a subtle shift, I guess, in how I do the podcast, not just in format, but what I'm capturing, what I'm sharing. You know, hockey is still like a really big part of my life, I guess. I still really enjoy it. I enjoy watching it, talking about it, and training. It's some of the most fun I have in the week. But I think I've talked in the past around, you know, driving hundreds of miles for an hour's worth of hockey and all that sort of stuff, and skating time being hard to get for me with work and with commitments and frankly, again, location towards rinks. I can get out on my bike anytime. I can get fit. And it's basically started because I wanted to get fit for hockey. And I started cycling a bit more. And I've just rediscovered a passion I had from when I was about 15, 16 years old. And again, it's a totally different experience because with hockey, it's all new. And with cycling, I'm rediscovering something. And so I kind of thought, oh, well, that'd be fun to share my experience of sort of reigniting a passion and having it be part of, I guess, pursuing a new passion. Because I have found that over the last 6 weeks, I've done a lot more bike rides. I've done probably 9 bike rides, maybe 8. And I'm feeling so much fitter for it. I'm only have 1 bottle with me now for hockey training sessions. And that sounds silly, but I was carrying 2 bottles, one with electrolytes, and I was like absolutely gassed and extremely warm. So yeah, I guess for me, it's been a really exciting sort of 6-week period, you know, with the game and skating hard and tracking data and getting back into cycling. So I just thought I'd share this little, I guess, nugget of information, this sort of new plan, I suppose, for hooking together a few different short form thoughts, and sort of stitching those into one still short form podcast. I still don't want to go above half an hour if I can avoid it, but it gives me an opportunity to give short structured thoughts, between sort of, say, 2 to 5 minutes, and I can do those after sessions. So this was just, I guess, a bit of an idea, a bit of a thought. I'll probably do one after hockey practice. Be good to share some thoughts on that. And then after training rides and stuff like that, maybe a bit of a weekly summary. And if I'm getting involved in games or I have a thought that comes to mind that I want to share, it allows me to stitch some of that together. So that's how we're going to do things going forward. So last night I had hockey practice. and jumping into this new micropod format. I'm going to talk a little bit about it really quickly, and just share some of my thoughts. So, I was away watching World Champs over the weekend in Zurich. In fact, I saw a day, 3 games. It was awesome. But coming back felt a little bit, unsettled, discombobulated. Not sure what the right phrase is, but certainly lacked confidence going into training. It almost felt like I'd been away for weeks, even though it had been a week since I last skated. And it was a good practice. I really enjoyed it. It was good to get the ice under the feet again, get the legs moving. And we did some really, really fun drills. I really enjoyed the drill, actually. So I'll sort of talk you through that, I guess. It's a 2v2 drill. So you start up against the boards on one side, and there's sort of 2 cones, one low face-off circle, one sort of above the high face-off circle, between that and the blue line. And you got effectively 2 attacking players up against the boards, one defender sort of net front, and one defender sort of, say, face-off dot on let's say, the left half, so the left face-off circle. And then the puck starts low, so it's the forward who's low, sort of skates up with the puck. And you're sort of in this channel along the boards. And then another forward skates from the blue line in. So you're kind of emulating sort of a break-in from one forward, maybe that you've just changed. Maybe someone's carried the puck in deep, or they've retrieved the puck against, up against the boards. They've maybe won a battle on the boards, and now they're looking for options. So you're skating up the boards. And you can choose to sort of hand off the puck and cross over where the player attacking from the blue line picks up the puck from the low player, and you kind of swap positions, and you carry the puck in low, and you try and attack from down low, or the person who's got the puck in starts down low can almost like break out high and sort of arc around these 2 cones. And then you're attacking 2-on-2. Sort of, I guess within the zone. I really like the drill. I think it's a really nice way of sort of evaluating, how long do you hold onto the puck for? First of all, do you dump off or carry in? And I practice both because I want to try and get competent with both options. But a really, really fun drill. And for this week in particular, I was sort of partnered up with the same person for most of it, which was really good. So actually had some really good passing chemistry. They're a much more competent skater than I am. They're very, very capable of reading a game. And I think the only thing they've really got to work on is their finish, because everything else seems to be there, and they're really well rounded. So a couple of times, sort of, I'd carry the puck or he'd drop the puck off. I pass early, so I look, when they're in space, when they've got the opportunity, make the pass. And I would say 90% of those passes were just tape to tape. Like, I was really, really pleased. I think I talked about this in a previous episode. And my passing is something I'll sort of really have to rely on, I think, because it's been really good and I've really enjoyed it. So really, I guess, leveraging that skill then, looking to make the early pass, looking to make a pass when they're in space, and very occasionally holding onto the puck. So we had a really good couple of run-throughs of that, probably 5-6 run-throughs on maybe 3-4 either side, but really enjoyed it, really good fun. And came away with some really good opportunities as well. So a couple of, I guess, standout plays would be actually choosing to carry the puck rather than offload. Normally I offload and try and give an option and pass it back, but I'm trying to be a bit more confident carrying the puck. And that actually came together in the scrim as well. I'll touch on that in a sec. But I had a couple that were really nice. So one was against our captain, and sort of picked up the puck, sort of skated north, and then did a really tight stop and this toe drag, stick handling in a phone booth style, and then cut away to the side and look for the passing option, which was cool. Create some space and try and I guess do something less predictable, particularly for myself when people look at how incapable I am at skating. Incapable, I should say. And the other one that worked really quite nicely was I dropped the puck and I went down low and just fired off a quick pass, and it cut through both defenders and ended up on the stick, and it was like pass, shoot, play over, like really, really crisp. I mean, the goalie made the save, but it was that kind of quick play, I guess. Really crisp, really fast, no messing around, and that worked really nicely as well. And then we got into quite a long scrim, like 20-25 minute scrim. Felt really fit, really fresh, which is good. Worked really hard. Probably, I think, the fastest skating session I've had on average since I started measuring, which is good. I can say really proud of that, really pleased with that. And there's one play in particular that I was really proud of. So a couple of times I was trying to carry the puck into the zone a bit more. So it's something I defer very, very often. And I was trying to push myself a little bit more to carry the puck in. And there was one particular occasion where I was skating up the middle, got a nice pass in from the D-man and go over. So I'm up the middle, sort of center ice, just broken into the zone. And I've got a winger on the right-hand side and a winger on the left-hand side. And the defenseman sort of pushing me out right. So I carry the puck to the right. And as I'm a right-handed player, I'm like, okay, well, I can't pass to the guy on the right. It's all getting a bit congested. We're sort of in the, let's say, 40% sort of right-hand side of the rink. There's 4 of us. But the wing on the left is open. And I saw him out the corner of my eye as we entered the zone. So I knew where he was roughly. And then he called for the puck. And I'm facing, let's say, the right-hand corner. And so I, behind the back, no-look backhand pass, and it's literally to the guy's stick as he's skating forward. I actually heard noise on the bench. That doesn't happen all the time, and I was hugely proud of the pass. But yeah, this no-look, or I guess it's not a no-look. I knew it was there. It's a pre-look, back behind the back backhand pass, just tape to tape, and I honestly had a bit of a moment afterwards. It was quite something. But it just really shows that I guess I've found the things that I can start to leverage in my game, passing, and I'm starting to get a little bit more composed with it now as well, and not rush everything. There are times when I feel a bit panicked and a bit cut off, and I lack space. But if I take the time, I'm finding that if I can allow myself the time to do something, I'm executing fairly well. So particularly in scrims, and I'm really pleased with how that's progressing. So I guess that was it for this week's hockey update and the slight shift in format. So as I mentioned, I kind of rediscovered my passion for cycling, which has been really good. It's been good to get fit. It's been good to get outside. And the keen-eyed among you will notice a slight difference in the logo, because I'm probably going to be talking about it a little bit more. I think hockey is probably the primary focus in terms of progression and sharing, I guess, the that journey into rec league, and obviously, still probably going to be the core part of this. But I kind of want to share this rediscovery because I think, as I said earlier, it gives an interesting angle to the hockey stuff, right? I mean, hockey is whole new thing to me, right? I've been skating properly less than a year, if we're actually putting time and effort in. And I think when I think about that progress, I can be really proud of that because it is starting from scratch. But with cycling, there's a muscle memory there. There's an old passion. There's a way I've done things in the past and trying to adapt to new ways of doing things. So, I've been out on a few rides. It's been really lovely. It's outdoors. It's fresh air. It's easy to get access to. And I've had fun buying some kit from some old cycling teams I used to follow, and I've sort of been rebuilding up my bike from, was it 2009, I think? About that kind of time, 2009, 2010. It's an old Rally Avanti comp, and it's got an old group set on it. It's full carbon, but it's dated, very dated rim brakes, and I've upgraded some gear cables. I bought some very period appropriate climbing wheels, so some Mavic Casiriums, I think SLs, which I think means super light or something like that. So I'm trying to redo the bike as I wish it could have been in 2010. When I had it as a kid, because literally it's the bike I had when I was 16, which is pretty crazy to think, but I guess that kind of time period is important. I kind of want to reflect that, but anyway, I digress slightly. It's been lovely to get out and get on some bike rides, and what I've noticed is that my enjoyment for being outside in the fresh air and the turning the legs over and whatever, it's kind of that weird childlike enjoyment. When you go along, you're smiling, and I've talked about this in the hockey environment as well, where it doesn't really matter what's happening. I could be, absolutely punishing myself on a terrible uphill, and while I'm not necessarily smiling in the moment, because I'm grimacing, I'm taking in as much oxygen as possible, and maybe even grunting, and then I get to the top, and that's when the smile creeps in. And I went for a recovery ride Tuesday. Yesterday was hockey day. I went for a recovery ride Tuesday, and it started chucking it down with rain on the way home. And I was only doing 25k sort of round trip because really I'd just come back from holiday. I needed to get some lactate out of my legs from a lot of walking and some pretty sore thighs actually. And so I was just turning the pedals over, and it starts chucking it down with rain. But I couldn't help but smile the whole way home because I was having a lovely time. I was out turning my legs over on my bike, which felt light as hell because I've only just put the bike upgrades on. So it was my first ride with the new wheels, first ride with the new gear cables. Everything shifted clean. I did drop my chain, shifting up into my big ring, but then I came home, I could adjust it. So it was a bit of a shakedown for me and for the bike. But I guess it's that kind of, I've got two very different sports. They kind of complement each other insofar as the anaerobic efforts that you do in intervals and the aerobic efforts you do on the bike for endurance are going to really support my strength and fitness for hockey. All right, it's not like weightlifting and specific training, but there's definitely some complementary elements to it. But they are quite different in I guess, style and approach, and also in body requirements. So I'm probably going to have to shift a couple of extra kilos over and above what I wanted to for hockey if I want to be able to handle the hills near my house. Unfortunately, I effectively live in like a gully between 3 different hill ranges. So there's kind of no flat roads. And I could probably do with getting down to less than 80 kilos, frankly, to be able to handle that. But it's been really fun. It's been really fun. And I've been listening to all the old stuff. I've been deep diving into the things I used to enjoy as a kid and the things I'm enjoying now as an adult. And I sort of teed up what the next episode is going to be. Sort of, I want to touch on in the next episode is data, because I've been using hockey tracking app now for pushing on 2 months. It'll be 2 months by the time I come around to record, no doubt. And that has given me some insight into my training and my fitness level. And actually using that with Gemini AI and chatting through some things with that tool has been really beneficial for me coming up with a bit of a training program on and off the ice. I've talked about using AI in the past for dieting, but I actually think having a PT that's effectively free, it's not going to be perfect, right? But I'm not spending money on it, so I don't expect it to be perfect. But it is going to be able to bounce some ideas off of, and it doesn't just say yes to everything I'm suggesting. I've talked about, in particular, even upgrading the bike. I thought, can I fit this chain, this rear cassette? And it's gone, whoa, just have a think about these things. Don't do this, don't do that. Or I'll not say don't do, but I wouldn't recommend almost. And it's been really insightful for that. So I'm really looking forward to taking the hockey and the cycling sort of data analysis into the next episode, because I've got I am the kind of person that does sporting activity on feel, but likes to review data afterwards to see if I can gain any insight about what's working. And I think that cycling these days is very, very focused on data, but even during rides, that I'm not all about. But I'll touch on that next time. But I just wanted to share, I guess, that kind of, excitement, enjoyment, the rediscovery of a passion, and hopefully, I say content-wise, in terms of obviously these stitched together micropods versus some stuff on Instagram or whatever, and get some clips rolling on sort of training and things like that, because I think that's going to be really interesting and insightful too. So it'll be fun for me either way. But I just wanted to share that kind of, joy that I'm getting at the moment, and thoroughly recommend to people that if they enjoyed something growing up as a hobby, touch into it, rediscover it, see if you still enjoy it, see if it brings back those kind of feelings, because I think a pursuit of happiness, joy, exercise, fresh air, those kind of things are all pretty wholesome. And when you start to stitch some of them together, it can really make an impact to your just week, just week by week. And that's what I'm finding at the moment anyway. So yeah, just wanted to share that. And I guess next time we'll dive into it in a bit more detail. Okay, that concludes our first crack at this kind of micropod style of podcasting. I will say it's a technique I'm going to refine over time, and sort of find more time during the week. I definitely need to buy a bit of equipment to make it real, just so that I drive a lot, so it'd be really convenient to just clip together 4 or 5 minute audio clips from when I'm driving to and from hockey or to and from work or something similar. Just gives me those opportunities to capture my thoughts fresh in the mind as well. Whereas at the moment I'm sort of having an experience coming home, recording it, putting it into this sort of editing software as we go live. So we'll see how we go. But I just thought, let's give this a crack, shake it up a little bit and see where we get to. So thanks ever so much for listening. Usual sort of stuff. You can follow along on Spotify, on YouTube, all under the same sort of Road to Rec League sort of tagline, if you like. And hopefully I'll figure out a way to get this on Apple Podcast as well at some point. It's kind of frustrating me that it isn't. Just from a purely it's not neat perspective. Anyway, thanks all for listening. Take care, have a great day, and catch you next time.